And I'll be hosting this, as you can see. Christian, I'm not sure if this is working at all right now. I see it froze. I'll be hosting this, as you can see. Christian, if you can, you bring in Sarah. I do not see you at all, Christian. I do not see you or hear you. Can anybody here see me?
Let's go.
Joanne, are you still able to hear me? Sorry, I'm waiting, trying to get. Oh, there's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Can you hear me, Sarah?
Yes, I can totally hear you.
Okay, so it looks like we're both live now on Facebook. Yeah, let's make sure that Joanne, can you tell us if you see both see and hear Nick and Sarah? Excellent. Hey,
Hi.
Mo, welcome. Thanks, Joanne. Thanks, Mo. Hi, Bernard. Everybody, thanks for being here. Having a few difficulties with. Oh, there's Christian. He's alive. Yes, I see you, Christian. I don't know if I can hear you. Can you talk? Maybe not. Okay, so anyway, guys, our guest tonight, thank you for bearing with us. Our guest tonight is Sara Stahl. Sarah and I gotten to know each other a bit through Snapchat. Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do on a daily basis. You seem to be very comfortable at your home right now and having a cup of coffee. Is it a cup of coffee or a cup of cocoa?
Sure.
Right now?
It's stout version of coffee. I guess my comment was R-rated.
I guess it was. This is really, we can't have you on this way, Sarah. Yeah, we are both live right now, Christian, but I don't know. Christian, you may just have to be on the sidelines.
It goes along with the rest of the week. Actually, the week I've been having, this is like lines up perfectly.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not the way we'd like to have you on the show, but I had some tech issues at home too, so you see I'm seated back a little bit more here than normal.
Getting cozy in your chair.
Yeah, I did. The week has just been too long.
Yeah.
So thanks, Mo, for letting us know we're back. Christian is going to be behind the scenes tech tonight, I believe. You may see him pop in and out, but he's having issues with Be Live. Sarah, now hopefully we don't lose what you're. We're going to have to knock this out That's unbelievable. I'm just going to say,
great.
I think it's. I'm so frustrated at this point.
I bet you are.
That I honestly, can we reschedule this, Sarah? I don't want to, because every time that I go and ask you a question, you just get booted, and I don't want to. I appreciate everybody being here, but I just don't.
I am a curse on the show. I don't know if you want me back.
No, absolutely want you back. Absolutely want you back. So I think what we'll do, because I'm going to ask you another question, and then you're
just try it. Just
try it. So tell us what you do on a day-to-day basis. And for all our guests, if you want to leave, I understand.
I would not leave. Nick, you are the best. And I don't know, do you even know how I met Christian?
Through Joanne, didn't you?
No,
I
Christian
didn't.
and I were both volunteers at Social Media Marketing World last year, and we were assigned to the same room. So he was like the room lead, and I was a speaker handler. So I had to walk 10 miles while he had to walk about 10 inches. And we just kind of talked. I didn't know who he was. We just kind of were like a proximity thing. And then after I left Social Media Marketing World, I never heard from him again until now.
He's like that. I mean, I thought I'd hear from him on screen tonight, but he just didn't do it. So
he's so unreliable. My goodness.
That's the one word that doesn't make it for him. He's usually more than reliable. So the technology is not particularly reliable. All right. So can you tell us what your company is, or might it just fall off again? All right. What's your company?
I could try. So I co-own a marketing agency, and we are in the business development process, and we kind of have like great ideas in the back end, but we're so busy working for clients, we haven't really marketed ourselves very well, which is always what happens with marketers. So this year we've restructured a little bit because we've gotten some really good traction with some bigger clients. And so we want to connect more with people basically this year.
So you do business development and marketing is there a particular niche that you do?
There's no particular niche. In fact, I don't think we've done 2 industries yet. So we've done tourism. Right now we're doing the MHA, which is the housing authority for the capital of Alabama. So that's like a government contract. And then we do like artists.
Are you located in Alabama?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You are? Okay. So we have two of our audience members here tonight, one from Birmingham and another from Huntsville.
Woo!
So
yeah, well, hit me up. I'd love to reach out. I love to meet people from Alabama. Usually I don't. Usually I meet everybody outside of Alabama.
Outside, yeah. So Morris Lilienthal and Bernard Nomberg are here, and they're both.
We'll get in touch for sure.
Roll Tide, I believe, is what they always
Lordy.
say. Yeah, that's what
we're not from Alabama, and so when we moved here. They said, you have to pick a side. And we're like, well, no, we're all right. Oh, no, you'll pick a side. So we haven't picked a side. But do you know what they call Yankee? I'm a Yankee.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know what they call Yankees in the South.
I thought they called them Yankees. Is there something worse?
No, they call them damn Yankees because they don't ever leave. So that's what I've been called, and apparently it's really funny, to say that. But, I don't think it's funny.
Well, look, these two guys have to see me twice a week in another group that we're in, and so they got to deal with us left coast folks, and Bernard's asking, where are you located in Alabama? And then we'll jump into, I've got 3 stories for us tonight. We'll hit those and we'll close it up.
Okay. Bernard, I live in Fort Payne, which is in North Alabama in the Appalachians. It's about 45 minutes south of Chattanooga.
Know where that's at, Bernard? I don't know if that makes Bernard or
Is Bernard in Birmingham? I'm an hour and a half away. I'm an hour and a half north of Birmingham.
All right. And so let us jump in tonight. There's only two of us. We got and we got just basically three stories. So let's hit it with
Sock Capital. That's right. I use that Snapchat filter all the time.
Which one's that?
Oh, I could see Bernard's comment. He says it's
the Sock Capital.
If you wear socks on your feet, because most people have 2 feet. Before 1990, it was made in Fort Payne, Alabama. So after NAFTA and everything went overseas, it changed. But
interesting. All right, well, let's jump in. Our kind of the big story tonight is obviously the Instagram business posts. So let's start off with Facebook giving us more control over privacy settings. This comes from Facebook Newsroom. As part of their Data Privacy Day, this was this week, we're introducing a new education campaign to help you understand how data is used on Facebook and how you can manage your own data. We're also announcing plans to make your core privacy settings easier to find and share our privacy principles for the first time. So helping you take control of your data on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You have many ways to control your data on Facebook. Includes tools to make sure you share only what you want with people, with the people you want to see it. But privacy controls are only powerful if you know how to find them and use them. So they're introducing educational videos in Newsfeed, which is a kind of an interesting step for them that will help you get information on important privacy topics, like how to control what information Facebook uses to show you ads, how to review and delete old posts, and even what it means to delete your account.
You know why I'm excited about this?
Tell me.
Have you ever had to help your mom navigate Facebook privacy to lock her stuff down?
No, she is one of the ones who stays off of Facebook. So,
okay, because my mom loves Facebook.
Okay,
but she cannot figure out how to navigate the privacy settings.
It's not the easiest thing in the world.
So now that there's videos, to be like, Mom, here, watch this.
Yeah. So then you don't have to describe it over the phone, right?
Can you imagine describing where to go to change your privacy settings to your mother over the phone?
It's just awful. No, I couldn't even think about doing it in person.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for that. But I think it's awesome that they are going to start putting some of this in the newsfeed, right? Where regularly you don't find Facebook's own ads or own information show up in your newsfeed, other than, sometimes when they have some new setting that they want to let you know about, it shows up at the top of your newsfeed when you log in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think that this stuff should show up throughout the newsfeed, and I think that it should be more prominent. So they're making the privacy settings easier to find. Simple tools for managing your privacy. This year we'll introduce a new privacy center, which we did not need another center on Facebook. That's the one thing we didn't need. Is one more place to go, but I guess this is the type of center that would be good. Features core privacy settings in a single place. We're designing this based on feedback from people, policymakers, privacy experts around the world, and they now have some privacy principles. They give you control of your privacy, help people understand how their data is used, design privacy into their products from the outset. This sounds like some guiding principles that they're trying to do in their kind of little revamp here of algorithm and fighting fake news and things like that. I don't see anything like revolutionary here, do you?
No. The only thing I can see is that ever since they've been messing with stuff, my messenger is acting wonky.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah. So whenever I, send a message,
uh-huh.
It doesn't show that it's sent. and then it still looks like it hasn't sent. So I'm like, oh, it didn't send, so I sent it again. And there's like 4 messages of the same thing that's sent.
Oh, interesting. I have not noticed that. You noticed that on your Messenger,
Facebook Messenger,
just app, or on desktop?
Desktop.
Interesting. I have not had that experience, so I wonder if that is tied to these continuing updates. But I don't see anything here. I think this is more of some of it is more of the lip service that we've been hearing from them, and there are some changes that they're making that are positive. But I think a lot of it is the continuing effort to keep the government off their back and try to give people back some control. I don't know how much that'll actually be, but it seems like they are working to make it a more friendly environment.
Mm-hmm. I wonder where that push is coming from. In Mark's letter, he talked about data and like what is I'm curious what data looks like to show them that, and I doubt we'll ever see any of that.
Yeah, the big story this week really from Facebook was that they lost daily active users for the first time. That came out. So
didn't their stocks drop?
Yeah, because they didn't see there was a million daily active user decrease. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. It looks like Christian is posting some links in the chat for us. And let's move on. This one's kind of fun. This comes from TechCrunch. This is our second topic tonight. And because my tools guy isn't here tonight, you're going to have to get the tools in the blog post, folks. So we're going to hit with 2 more stories here, and we're going to be done for the evening. And I apologize if I'm not seeing your comments. This is from TechCrunch, came out just the end of last week. Facebook lets you tip game live streamers $3 plus. So this is Facebook launching monetization for video gameplay streamers, allowing users to tip creators a minimum of $3 via the desktop site. Right now, the contributor of tips doesn't get any special call-out or privileges, though Facebook tells me considering different options for creators and gamers, for instance, it could have a special emoji reaction float across the stream as a way to thank fans who gave money. It's interesting that they rolled this out specifically to video game live streamers. Not something I've ever watched personally.
I'm interested because my son does watch. He watches on YouTube, though, because he's 10, so he doesn't have a Facebook account. So I feel like it's going to end up being like an Alexa thing. Remember when Alexa came out and all these kids were like buying themselves presents and they were being delivered to the house? Right. So that's what I feel like. Like, I'm going to leave my Facebook up and my son's going to go on and start tipping these gamers. Right.
So do you then have a credit card already tied to your Facebook account that he can go and do that with? Or is it just
PayPal is linked?
PayPal's linked, yep.
So, yeah, it's not a credit card, but I have money in my PayPal account. Right. And so he's like, oh my gosh, he gave me like the best Zelda tip ever. I'm going to give him like $25.
Yeah, because that's worth it. At that age, it's worth it for the Zelda tip. It was interesting that they rolled it out to this, so I guess this is a big thing. I guess this is a big thing. Now, they do talk about...
it shows me that they're trying to get into a different market because I don't ever see that on Facebook. My son always goes to YouTube. So there has to be a big market there.
There must be a big market there. I know I have somebody who works in my office who makes the video gaming. He makes extra money outside of our office by making gaming videos and posting them to YouTube, and he does really well. One of my younger employees.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So the
OBS.
Right.
Like I've been using OBS a lot more, and that's actually a gamer's platform. Like when I look up tips for OBS, it's usually gamers that are using OBS.
Interesting. So they do talk about the monetization in this article. Apparently, it's too early to lock any percentage in, though Facebook has taken 30% cut from game developers in the past and currently takes a 45% share of ad revenue from people who place ad breaks in their Facebook Live videos. So
this is I'm wondering, a big thing.
Yeah, that's a big chunk for any profit sharing there. But I'm wondering if they'll roll this out to any other Facebook Live type shows. That way, when Mo and Bernard and Joanne and everybody's here for social chatter, they can go ahead and tip me $3 to $15 next week.
Well, you gotta feed your puppy. You know, treats.
Yeah, I gotta feed the dog, guys. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they'll roll this out to anybody else in the future, or if the gaming is just that big a business. Like, how often is your son looking at this stuff, looking at gaming?
Constantly. Online? So he has beat Zelda 5 times, and he still goes to YouTube. So he'll find we download like different, I don't know what you call them, like different add-ons to the game.
Right. Oh yeah, I hear those get expensive.
And so he's like, Mom, can I go to YouTube? Because I don't know, like, what I'm doing right now. I'm like, can't you use your mind and just figure it out? And he's like, no. But he goes on YouTube quite a bit. I mean, he's back and forth. When he's on Zelda, he's using 2 devices. He's playing the game and then he's looking at YouTube.
That's impressive. So this is big business. So this is really big business. So that's why, because I noticed they weren't even bothering with a $1 tip or something like that. Which as you recall, Busker monetized live video really well for as long as they lasted, and they had 1, 3, and 5 or above tips, I think. And so I pictured this as similar, where you get notified that somebody had donated, and then you could give them a shout out. Like Mo just gave me an emoji full of cash, which I shouldn't be giving him a shout out for that, but I'm going to.
It's bit currency. It's worth something somewhere.
Hey, I'll accept Bitcoin. But only in individual coins. I don't do any of the fractional stuff. So yeah, this will be interesting to see how they do in the tipping of video gamers, and then who else will they roll it out to? Will this will they be playing this somehow for
I would
Facebook
give Gary
Watch?
Vee a tip. I feel like he's given so much. I would tip him if he was live.
Gary Vee would be tipping me. I have so much more value to provide than he does.
Actually, you make me laugh a lot more than Gary Vee does.
I bet. Yeah, he loses it on the humor a little bit.
He does. He gets too serious.
So the last story for this evening, last one we're going with, because I think I got 2 links. I had 2 links, or what? The one link just kept coming up. This is kind of the big story for this week. Brands with, and this comes from Adweek. Came out 2 days ago. Brands with business profiles on Instagram can now schedule organic posts. And this is big because Instagram is just, it's been kind of a pain for businesses to keep up with, when am I going to post on Instagram. And they can also view public posts that they were mentioned or tagged in, which is great because that's a way to follow your branding and see who's talking about your business. So let me read a little bit of this, and that way people get an idea of what we're doing. Business profiles on Instagram gained a lot more flexibility with Tuesday's announcement of changes to the Instagram Graph API. The changes only affect businesses' organic content on the network. It doesn't affect your business ads or sponsored content, just what you're posting to your business profile. So now as a business, you'll be able to schedule organic posts, view public posts that in which your business has been mentioned or tagged in, and view other business profiles. Features introduced Tuesday. So a lot of the folks who are in here right now, let's just get some feedback. Mo, Bernard, Joanne, Kim Fleck was here at one point. any of you using Instagram as a business profile rather than your personal profile? I know Mo and Joanne have the business one, or have the personal profiles. I don't know if they have business profiles as well. You manage? I'm assuming you manage some business profiles, right?
I do.
Have you seen this rolled out to any of your customers yet?
No, Kim's saying yes. Cool. I have not, so I'm waiting for it because one of my clients is very active on Instagram, and one of my biggest, I guess, hurdles is I don't want to post the same content on Facebook and Instagram. Right. Like there needs to be there will be some overlap, but it needs to be a little bit different. And so I schedule using Agorapulse. Okay. And Agorapulse, there's like a 16,000 step process to get your stuff on Instagram. And so I just post natively, but sometimes I forget because I'm like, get busy with my day. But I can find a workaround. This is what we were talking about earlier. There's always a workaround for those kind of things, but monitoring the mentions of your business to me is the coolest thing. Because
go ahead. I'm sorry. I think
that's okay. I have tried so many different tools to monitor business because I think brand sentiment is really important to keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
So I've used like Mention, but I don't know if you've used Mention before, and you put in your brand or you put in a keyword and you end up with like 60,000 mentions to kind of work through. Where you can get a hold of the brand and who's talking about it very specifically, which I think is a really big deal.
It's platform specific, but at least you're getting some feedback, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so if somebody's
specific feedback
because your company's been mentioned. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's mentioning, Nick Rishwing's cookie bakery or something like that.
You have a bakery? That's cool.
No, but I should have one. And if they're mentioning my bakery, or they had a bad experience, right? Because that's really where, especially if you're a local restaurant or and somebody's had a bad experience, you want to be able to jump on that right away. So
Morris asked, "Is this TweetDeck for Instagram?"
No, Mo, I don't think it's TweetDeck. It's more like Buffer for Instagram, but on Instagram. How would you describe it, Sarah? Does it feel like it's a Buffer or a Hootsuite for Instagram?
I use Agorapulse, which is like a competitor of Hootsuite, and that's what it feels like to me because on Agorapulse, I can monitor mentions and then address mentions right from the platform. Oh, so okay. I guess it feels more like the Hootsuite, but I could think it would be cool if it did act like a TweetDeck because that would offer a lot more analytics.
Yes, it would.
So that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Hootsuite for Instagram.
Yeah. Plus, So you say the Agorapulse allows you to monitor mentions. I do not use Hootsuite or Agorapulse. So
how dare you?
I know. I'm a buffer guy, but I only have really only one thing to keep track of. So, one company to keep track of. So I think that's sufficient for me. Sarah uses Agorapulse.
Agorapulse, yeah. And Emmerich, he's incredible. He's one of the co-founders of Agorapulse. He was at Social Media Marketing World last year too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and they're doing pretty incredible. I mean, they're making a name for themselves, and they do. So what I like about
I have heard of them, but I have not. I've never used it. Mo mentions he was talking about monitoring the mentions. Was that on Instagram that you were talking about, Mo, or all platforms? Go ahead, Sarah. I just wanted to ask him to comment on that.
I was just saying the reason why I like Agorapulse is, it's illegal to have giveaways on your timeline. And so they offer apps. So they're not only a monitoring tool, but they also offer multiple apps that you can link into your Facebook to keep within the Facebook guidelines and still be able to kind of do the things you want to do without breaking the rules, basically. And then they have this ROI tool. I'm kind of like a huge ROI geek. I always want to, I know ROI is a tricky thing, but the portions you can turn into ROI, I've been chasing that unicorn for about 5 years. And they have an ROI tool that I've been playing with. And I just was able to determine finally after 5 years that a client of mine made additional $10,000 after working with me over 6 months. And I was able to use Agorapulse to prove that. Okay. And to me, that's a huge deal. I don't know if like Hootsuite can do that.
And Christian has mentioned to me that this, this update is for Facebook and Instagram partners, for example, Hootsuite and Sprout Social. I guess you get the scheduling in those tools, so I don't know if you will have that with your with the one you mentioned. So
Agorapulse, that's how I schedule.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah,
same thing. All right.
So it's like Hootsuite to me, but it does more.
It does more for you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is my last. We did have one other update that. This one was pretty cool, I thought, because we don't see a lot of Twitter updates, and I like Twitter a lot. So
I do too.
Let's see, Christian, are you posting the Twitter latest photo update is so brilliant you won't even notice it? So I did notice it. This week when I did, in fact, in two spaces, Sarah, I noticed it when I posted a picture of a friend, and when I initially posted it, it cuts off the head and shows like the center of the photo, right? And then when I refreshed my page, it had actually picked up on where the person's head was and readjusted it so that would show up in essentially the. So let me read it. I'm not doing as good of a job describing this as it is. It's certainly no Instagram, but Twitter users upload millions of images to the social networking service each day. Unlike the mostly square pictures posted on Instagram, Twitter images tend to come in all manner of shapes and sizes. This presents a problem to the platform's interface designers, as Twitter timeline displays most images horizontally, crop previews, which the user can then tap to view the full size, right? That's what you're normally used to seeing. These previews are rarely the same shape as the original images, and therefore only a small section can be displayed. But Twitter doesn't just crop out a rectangle from the middle of each image, as you might imagine. This would often result in the main subject of the picture, right, cutting heads off. Now, you've probably never given it a second thought because you didn't have a choice in the matter, but algorithms have been in place for some time, which attempt to prevent this from happening by using facial detection to help determine which section of the original image should appear in the preview. This should ensure that if there's a face in the original image, it won't get cut off on the preview. And I did notice this get corrected on one picture of you that was posted this week, letting people know that the show was coming up, and one on somebody else that I had tweeted about. So useful as it is, this technique won't help when it comes to pictures of non-human faces, such as cats, or limitless types of interesting objects which may appear outside the middle section. The face detection algorithm also sometimes failed to spot faces in images or something like that. But I think this is an improvement.
Yeah. Because they have like a weird size. Like they have a very different size than any other platform.
They do, very different size. So I think this is a great way. This is something Twitter needs to do. I was very pleased when I posted a picture of the friend, and it immediately cuts off the head because the head's at the top of the photo.
Yeah.
And when I refreshed that page and went back, it had put him in the right position, and I thought, perfect. That's fantastic. It hasn't done it on everything that I've posted this week.
Oh, okay. So it's still working itself out.
I think they're still working. It's still working itself out. So, but that is.
I love Twitter. I love it, and I remember. I want to say When did they go public? Maybe 4 years ago, and everyone was saying that they were going to do horrible, and that's the only, other than Snapchat, that's the only platform I've never been upset with. Yeah.
We've talked about this for a long time on this show. Christian, who is good with much better at Facebook than I am. I guess I like more complicated platforms. I enjoy Twitter and I enjoy Snapchat. I just seem to enjoy when it's more difficult for me to learn how to use a platform. But
you know who uses Twitter, right?
Who's that?
The ironic crowd.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A little sarcastic. We like to have a little bit more fun. And,
yes.
Yeah, that's true. It is more of a fun platform for those types of things. So, Sarah, thank you for being here and putting up with the technical difficulties today.
Oh, you guys are great. Don't even worry about it.
So, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Well, I'm Mrs. D. Stahl on Twitter and Snapchat, and that's where I'm most active. And then on our business page on Facebook at Avant Creative, I'm also active there.
Okay, so can you post that in the Facebook?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Make sure people know where to find you. There will be there's a lot of stories out this week. Christian has got the blog post pretty much ready to go live. Cool. So we will have that out probably first thing tomorrow morning or late tonight. He will post a link for you in everybody for 10 more stories or 5 or 6 more stories. There was a lot of smaller issues, smaller items, and you can catch that in the blog post tomorrow. Thank you, Sara Stahl, Mrs. D. Stahl. Is that right? Did I get it right?
That's right. Yeah, you got it.
Mrs. D. Stahl. Thank you for being here with me tonight, and thanks for putting up with our technical issues.
It's been great. Enjoy your chair, Nick.
Thank you. I'm going to go to bed. All right. Bye-bye.